been a while. I've been super busy with like extra work recently, so I've missed like a week worth of streams. But I'm back, and yeah, we're gonna be doing some primarily some UVing today. I still need to figure out the shoes. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the shoes. I do have a test in Marvelous Designer because I have worked on this very briefly outside of stream time. I just remembered as well I need to fix some topology issue I found. But yeah, so I do have kind of a general plan with what I'm doing today. Is, as I said, just going to be doing the... Oh, not you. Just going to be doing UVs mainly, and then yeah, if we can figure out the shoes, that'd be great, but if not, then just kind of continue without them for now. Off stream, in terms of the work that I did, I've set up some basic kind of like shoe sock things, like leather, toe, just out of a general idea. Hey Ian, how you doing? Just trying to like figure out, you know, what do I want to do for the shoes? Like, is there anything design-wise that I might find more interesting? Because currently, obviously, this is very blocked out. Like, I'd need to add all the extra like threads and stuff, but I don't know. This just feels a little bit too bland for me. Like, maybe I can make it more sock-like. I basically just need to be a bit braver with the shoes and just like pick like, okay, am I going for shoes or am I going to socks? And then whichever one I go for, really push that aesthetic. So if I go for socks, make it feel like a thin cloth. If I go for shoes, then obviously spend some more time giving it some love and like making it an actually okay model. So currently this is pretty poor. Yeah, and then other than that, I figured out a general kind of cloth pipeline for the project, like how I want to handle simulation. So obviously we won't be going over that today just because we're not at the stage of that yet. I still need to rig the character before all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure we did this on stream. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, starting to get somewhere. And I just need to kind of move things around to kind of get it working. I also need to actually match these to the box, which I might quickly do now, because it's a quick enough thing to do. Although the way that Marvelous handles meshes, like with thickness, it doesn't actually weld them. That's going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, so how are you guys doing? Everyone doing okay? I think that's all of those selected. Let's test that. No, there is a mesh left. There we go. Right, so I can just grab that. I'm not too worried about any intersections or anything like that, because I'll be simulating this mesh once I actually animate the thing anyway. It's going to be like the shittest animation, by the way. It's not going to be actually moving properly. It's just going to be... yeah, it's not going to be moving properly at all. It's just going to be like animation just for the sake of motion to get the cloth sim working in a way that isn't awful. Which would be an improvement over my usual animation, so... And... Hey Akshat, how you doing, man? And just got that bit. Let's test that out. Yeah, I've got everything. I need to weld the verts on this to make it actually stick together. There we go, something like that. I'll model some like little metal tacks to hold this in place, I think. Which I may as well grab these. And then let's find that in the grouping. Drag that to the box group. And then let's just flatten that even more. Go with... Go there, then go there. Something like that, it's super flat. So I just want it to feel like a tack that's holding it in place. And yeah, so let's drag that over here. It's obviously going to need to be a fair bit smaller, but... And then once I've got these positioned, I'll start UVing. Because I've got quite a lot to do. Scale that slightly. Something like that will do. Doesn't need to line up perfectly, just needs to be there. So if we go to wireframe, you can barely see it, but they're there. Should probably center these though, right? Not perfectly, but enough for it to actually hold something. And let's just quickly render that. Let's go to, we're in modeling, Arnold, render. Come on, Arnold, you can do it. Is this simulating right now? It is. I need to stop doing that. Yeah, so we got those in there now. Cool. I'm gonna also stop this from, oh, come back. Yeah, so I think the character in general is starting to look the way I want. I still need to do a bit more modeling to make it a little bit nicer, but I kind of want to push it as far as I can with shading, to be honest. I don't really want to do a huge amount in like in the model. I don't know, I just feel like with it being a miniature, I can probably get away with quite a lot. So let's turn that off. Right, so I guess we'll get started. So let's hide the box. Or maybe we should UV the box first, because that'll be one of the easiest. This will already have UVs. Just need to scale them. Just do something like that. I don't need perfect UVs. I need to make sure I'm not double clicking to select, because it's gonna not select all the UVs in that area, because there is overlap, but in this case that's fine. Something like that will do nicely. We're gonna have to crush these down a little bit. There we go. So we got that UV'd. Let's move on to these guys. I guess with them all having the same topology, I can UV one of them. So let's do a mesh separate. Unless they've already got UVs. Although they wouldn't. Yeah. I expected as much. Well, they kind of do. I'd have to cut them all. Let's do that. So let's go with the inside edges on all of them. Hide that for now. I'm also loving how phallic that is. Actually kind of funny. Right, so that's going to be acting funny, isn't it? Should probably have hid my other meshes before I started doing this. I'm going to cut these while I remember to. Cut. that one cut. Let's just do a quick layout. Layout Y to V. That should be fine. And are any of these? Wait, why is that cut? Okay, maybe I just do need to actually do this. So let's solo that. Mapping. Planar map X. Sure, why not? And then let's just go through. Oh, I actually had all the edges still selected. That's helpful. I guess with these, go for that one. Pretty sure that's all of them. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright. Cut. Layout. Where are these edges coming from? Oh, is it? Yeah, of course. I need to unfold them. I assume that they'd be working, but that would be silly. Where are you? Why is it laying them out like that? Okay, so rather than use layout to V, or Y to V, let's just do vertical. Okay. Horizontal, maybe you pack better. And what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to dock this. Come on, there we go. So let's grab two UV shells. So that's one group of faces, put it over there. Add in those ones. I guess that leaves all these. Cool. It's a shame that, as far as I'm aware, Maya's UV tools don't actually have a function to kind of put everything together. Let's just put all these like that. Thick ones on bottom. Let's grab you. Yeah, it's a shame that there's not like a group by connectivity feature. So like, you know, it puts UVs that are physically connected, like in the same kind of space. That'd be a really nice feature if it had it. It probably does, to be honest. I'm not going to worry too much about getting these in plank order. It feels like a bit overkill, but I think grouping them by what side they're on is kind of helpful. Great to see my UV still hasn't changed since BU. Oh yeah, definitely. Also, you mentioned BU, so I'm guessing, were you someone from my year group, or? Because the name Joyu, I don't think that's anyone's name that I've met. And regardless of whether or not you're from my year group, welcome to the stream. I hope you find it at least somewhat educational or entertaining or cathartic, I don't know. I imagine loads of different people have different, well, I say loads, all 3 viewers have different reasons for coming to see this. But yeah, I don't think I've seen your name here though, so yeah, welcome. Abraham. Alright, so we need to figure out a way to group this nicely, because that layout clearly isn't going to work. Do I put these next to each other? Is that the way to go? Just scale this all down a little bit. And then probably bunch you guys up a little bit more, and then that should be fine enough, I guess. The key here is not caring and just getting it good enough. Like, there's a lot of wasted space here, but maybe in an ideal world, I could probably UV this with like all the bolts that kind of hold it together and put those in between. So maybe let's make a little bit of space for that. So it could be good to have them on the same UV set. So maybe let's put all the screws here. And let's just quickly check how that's working. Bit distortion. Doesn't look like it should be distorted, but apparently it is. I know these are wider than they should be. Just quickly straighten those out as a test. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That is not straight enough. But do I care? Not really. Some sort of warping in the wood is fine. So let's unsolo you. Oh, these can go with it. Okay, so these 2 metal kind of struts can go by the side. That makes sense. So let's re-UV those. Solo them first. Let's go with mapping. Just pick whatever the fuck. Doesn't matter. And then just cut these by section. And then cut the inside off. Why would I want that? There we go. I really wish Maya had the same kind of camera setup as Houdini, where you can just wherever your mouse is where the focal point of the camera is. So you can just rotate around a single point without having to constantly move your camera to compensate. Alright, so I got both of those. Just need to get the ones on this side. Cut. Come on. Oh, you're struggling. Why is that struggling? Alright, I'll let it do its thing for a moment. How are you guys? These aren't in smooth preview, are they? I don't think they are. They don't look like they are. It's crashed, hasn't it? Why? There's literally 6 rectangles is what it needs to unfold right now. you're gonna crash, do it quickly. That's not what I meant to do. Projects, person projects. StickyMonsters, scenes, modeling, Maya, scenes. When did I save? UV'd the box and haven't saved. It's not the hardest thing to UV, but still it's a bit repetitive. Yeah, it's not responding. Why is it not responding? It's also using 12 gig of RAM right now. Which, granted, I've got a lot more RAM than that, but like, it seems excessive for unfolding a box. Bye, Maya. Okay, so we UV the box. God damn it. So I'm going to do it a little bit smarter this time, which is separate the meshes since they got the same topology, then cut them all apart. No, not cut them all apart. Separate the meshes, UV one of them, transfer the UVs across each one. I don't know if the point order will be the same though, which could be an issue. I know we can transfer it, but then it just gets like overly tedious for some rectangles. Right. It's in the front camera. It's still struggling. I'm going to close this. I'm just going to save. I've got a feeling that Marvelous Designer makes Maya just extra unstable than normal. Right, so at least I've still got attacks. Right, so I'm guessing you don't have UVs. Oh, right, okay. And yeah, they won't have the same point order. So I will just re-UV them. Mapping. Oh, is that the last one? Oh, I was trying to find the last one. Go to the outside for that one. You ain't gonna happen. Let's do this side. Where has I got this one from? Is it here, right? Come on. This is where having the Houdini like camera tools would be really helpful. Is that all of them? Went a bit quicker this time. Set this to UV editing. Why are they not the same size? So you two vertical. Oh, that's so frustrating. Right, okay, so. Turn my thing down. There we go. Right, so let's go through one at a time. Grab all these. Come off over here. Well, that's what I could do. Speed things up a bit. Lay these out one at a time. As in, like, just let the Maya tool do it. Alright, cool, so these are working. So let's just grab all these, layout. Fuck you. But it's quicker. Is it Chun? If we're in the same year, are you Chun? If you weren't in the same year, I'm not entirely sure who you could be. That is not what I want. UVs. Is there really a gap there? That's so insanely tight. It's literally, it's a 1 pixel gap at like 1K, isn't it? I almost don't like the gaps being that close. I might lower the packing resolution, or just spread them apart manually. Just literally go through and do that. 'Cause I normally hear that the best recommendation is having a 4 pixel gap at whatever resolution you do. So if I end up doing 4K maps or even procedural maps, then this would be fine. But if I do anything less than 4K, then this 1K packing wouldn't be ideal. Come on, there we go. Cool. Gap between those two is fine. Between those is now fine. Yeah, the reason it's good to have a gap, for anyone who doesn't know why I'm adding more of a gap, is because when you bake textures, it's normally good to have a little bit of a kind of runoff, because if you do any MIP mapping, which is basically kind of making lower resolution textures, which most renderers do by default, if you do any MIP mapping, then there's a chance of them kind of bleeding over each other. It just gets super, super messy. Is that all of them? That's all of them. So now we need to scale these to hopefully fit. Something like that will do fine. And what we can do is just grab the transform and get texel density. It's going to pull these apart again, isn't it? And set. Oh, I hate that so much. Alright, I'm just going to proxy it. It'd be quicker to proxy the size of these than it would be to space them out again. Or fix the spacing, because that's too much spacing. This is also still not small enough, which is deeply upsetting to me. So we're going to need one of these. Well, I guess we want the orientation to be consistent. So maybe let's do that. Won't really fit. Then this is the last one, right? The fact they don't quite fit next to each other is really bothering me, although that gives me an idea as to how to lay this out like infinitely better. Let's grab these guys. And then we can put some more UV stuff in here. So let's not make the same mistake as last time. Save. Right, so this time I wasn't as much as an idiot. Solo this. Wait, wrong thing. Mapping, planar map, don't care. Oh, I don't want that. I want it to be one of these middle. The reason I don't want the loop that goes cleanly round is because you want your UV cuts to be like somewhat supported, ideally. And the reason you want that is because if they're not supported, your textures will stretch out because the mesh itself will stretch. If you go for an edge that's kind of locked in place by supporting edges, then the seam won't move. Granted, you'll still get texture stretching because these are physically capable of stretching, but you get less of it, which is what we want. Right, okay, so let's save. Unfold. Worked perfectly this time. Why? And I guess we gonna want this horizontal potentially. No, vertical works fine. And I guess we should set these to have the same texture res. I guess we'll do these one at a time, it doesn't make a difference. This should fit. I hope it's gonna fit. Uh-oh. This is going to be cut really fine. I do not like that. I find it kind of satisfying, but I also kind of hate it. So let's grab all those, move them over. So then we have these on the same thing. It's now just a case of doing these guys, right? I can UV these one at a time. I can UV these in one go. So all we're going to need to do for this is solo U. And I feel like for UVing, having an ultra wide screen would be really, really nice. Let's just go to mapping, planar map. The axis genuinely doesn't matter. I'm also getting a lot of visual glitches. Something's up with my computer tonight. Just cut U, cut U. It's not supported, but I don't care. Cut to U. Cut U. And then part of me is tempted to see how this unfolds, so I'm just going to leave that as it currently is. I don't think it will unfold that well, but I kind of want to check it anyway. Because I've got a feeling this is horrifically stretched. It's not as bad as I expected, but I'm going to fix it. So what's the best way to go for this? So I've got a few ways I can approach this in theory. I could cut the top completely off, like that, and then cut like, where's the edge loop? I could cut this edge loop. Oh, that's kind of strange. Okay, before I do the final unfold, I'll need to smooth the topology out. Cannot cut the top of that off as well because it's kind of forcing some weirdness. Oh, I just realised I've done something stupid. Move them so. Wrong window. Nope. There we go. So let's go with the polygons that are actually on the bottom, which are these ones. I also need to change my camera clipping plane. The new one's too close. I always forget which one's the attribute editor. So near clip, let's go with 0.5 just so I can get a little bit closer. There you go. Does this one go all the way around? No, it doesn't. I'll just go with that one. Cut. And then we just want to go from... I know I've missed an edge, I'll return to it. I think it's easier to cut in a UV window, to be honest. Not layout. Yeah, there it is. And I guess we should cut the other side as well. Just to get something that unfolds a bit nicer. The visual glitches are doing my head in. Oh, hey Oscar, how you doing? Oh, Team Mippets. Joe. It is Joe, right? In which case, welcome to the stream. I don't think we've actually seen each other since Mippets. Well, obviously not Mippets, but like since BFX that year. Do I stay with these UVs? They're kind of gross. Let's see how well average verts does here. Because I have a feeling... Oh wait, why not just circularize components? Ugh, that's why. Alright, let's try average verts. Average verts. Or do the classic. Just insert a new loop. I don't like how the polygons kind of stretch to each other. Like, it's not overly clean, but it's like the smallest detail and the smallest part of this. Like, this is literally, I'm currently criticizing the back of a pin, which is that big in the scene. So maybe I don't need to care about that. Oh no. Jesus has commented on the link. I need to jump in one of these days. Jesus, if you're watching, yes, at some point. If you're not watching, fuck you, Jesus. Hope you're enjoying frames though, by the way. So, let's get these a bit nicer laid out. I'm going to scale these intentionally down just a little bit. And I guess in terms of layout, this is already fine. Like, it doesn't need to be crazy clean, because it's just a fucking screw. So what we need to do now is, I'm going to pull this way over here. I can't remember what order you do it in. I think it's this order, where you select the one you want to transfer from and to. No, it's to and from, right? Let's try from and to. So mesh, I'll save first. Mesh, transfer attributes. And let's do UV sets. Oh, set to all, color sets off, by topology. Yeah, okay, so it is from to. So now we can just go G, delete history. G. Does it work for multiple? G. It does not work for multiple. I have to do it one at a time. But it works. Alright, so that's the box you viewed. I just need to now lay out the screws. Should I have a group for them? I do not have a group for them. Why don't I have a group for this? That's horrible. I haven't named them either. Oh no. Alright, let's do some quick naming. So, here's the quickest way to name stuff that I've found. So let me just grab all these. This is my favorite trick. So you can use the rename tool. Quite a lot of people know about that. It's just up here. Rename, and I'm going to call these box screws, then underscore. That will automatically add a number to the end. And then my favorite hidden feature in Maya is if you go to modify, search and replace names. if you add $, here, that is now a suffix. So I can just add geo to the end of all of them. And there we go. All of our objects are named in a hierarchy, and then it's just a case of grouping them. Screw, group, and then these, I'm just going to call those cloth pins, I guess. So let's just rename all of those to button. Oh no, cloth pin. Do the same thing on those. Modify, search, replace names. I don't know why there isn't a suffix, because there's a prefix hierarchy names, but there's no suffix hierarchy names, which is kind of frustrating. We're going to call this box curtains geo, box metal geo, and box wood geo. And that group needs to be named cloth pins group. I've also just realised I've fully capitalised that, don't like that. There we go. And then, I guess the last thing to do, well, let's grab the cloth, put these in the second, oh yeah, I did that as well after. Let's put this in the second UDIM. Oh, to remember from earlier that I can't do that, I need to do this. Yeah, how are you doing, Joe? You doing well? Oh, how do you make sure that all the parts get the same pixel density? Just wing it? No, there's a tool for that. Let me just get back to that in a moment. Something like this. So, the tool to kind of make sure they're all the same, the term is texel density, T-E-X-E-L. I also need to freeze transformations on this. Needs probably freeze transformations on all of this, to be honest. Modify, freeze transformations. But yeah, so what you can do is in the UV window, there is a UV toolkit. You select the mesh or the UVs that you want the scale from. So I'm just going to select these, and I'm going to click get. Down here, texel density, you just hit get. That will give you the texel density of that mesh. Now what you can do is select another mesh and just hit set. And they are now the same size texel-wise as the planks. Granted, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to just scale these down, because now I've got the lovely job of getting these. So what I'm going to do for that is go into my tool options, transform snap step, set to 1, move you over UDIM, move you over. I'll move you up a UDIM, and move you that way. Pretty sure none of these are overlapping so far. Let's just quickly select all those. Cool. So then that one, let's move you out to 4. Move you out to 4, 1. And I've got what, 2 more? 3 more. That's awkward. Let's go up to you and to you. So now if I select all these, I can just grab them all, turn off snap step. Well, I'll just get rid of it. Turn that off, quickly move these out of the way completely. Grab the box itself, grab everything actually. And then what I can do now is just grab these, fit them in wherever I want to fit them. So in this case, I'm going to want to, oh, what are you? Oh, yeah, I need to ignore the cloth pins for a second. I need to re-UV those as well. So let's grab all this. Select everything else again. And what I'm going to do is just grab all these and put them in the top left. Yeah, textile density is like a kind of global term for this stuff, so it's going to be called the same thing in every software. Technically, I should put a bit more of a gap between these, but I don't care for these. I'm probably going to shade these procedurally anyway, so I don't need to worry about texture as much. Because then the last thing I need to do is the cloth pins, right? And start with you. So I'm just going to, I guess, plane on map these, right? So mapping, plane on map Y. I feel like I need to restart my computer because it's like flashing stuff every time. Fold. Then get you, put it on there. Mesh, transfer attributes. Okay, grab you to you, grab you to you, grab you, no, grab you to you, and from to, done. So that's all these. I don't care about the these ones being together, so just gotta lay those out like that. Although I guess it would be nice to have them kind of in a grid layout, right? So let's just go one at a time. I guess the easiest way is to have all of these selected and go into F8. And what I can do now is just select them like that. Oh, it's gonna change them every time. That's so unbelievably frustrating. Okay, let's do the same thing as before. I think. Something like that. And 1, 2, 3. Grab all these, move them over. Move you back that way. Move all of this over again. So a car just went past playing like 50s music, and having played like Fallout New Vegas for the last couple of nights in a row, like that really for some reason bugs the fuck out of me. Right, there we go. So let's just grab all these guys, move them up slightly. We might have to make this a bit more square, but that's fine. So now if we set the whole group, just cram these in there. The textile density of these is absolutely massive. Like, these have so much resolution. But that's good enough for what I need. It's nice and neat, at least. Oh, forget about that. Cool. There's that box done. Save that, and now I can hide this group, right? Oh, wrong group. There we go. Hide that. Envelope, env group I don't need to worry about. Call it envelope by default at this point. Kid, right. Where do we start? Guess trousers will be the easiest one to do first. Oh, I don't have a thickness on these yet. Okay. I thought I already modeled the thickness of these. I'll leave it for now. Well, I'll UV them anyway, but planar map. Love it. And then let's just place a cut on every seam line. Come on. Grab you. No. There we go. So we could go down the approach now of, do we cut it into 4 segments, because sometimes they are cut like that. I guess we could. And then just deselect these guys. Let's have it as a 4-piece like pattern. And let's actually make them the correct orientation. And technically these then should have been cut the whole way up, right? So let's lay out, set you to Y to V, I guess? What are you? Oh, I selected the wrong fucking thing. Cut. There we go. So these two need to be like this. I think I'm going to go with straightening the legs. I could straighten the actual shells using this edge, right? So let's go straighten shell. There we go. You don't always need marvelous designer to get nice clothing UVs. I mean, these aren't perfect by any stretch, but they're good enough. And then let's scale this down. We'll figure out where we want UDIMs to go, because I still haven't figured out what texture workflow I want to take. Part of me wants to ditch Mari for this project and just try, like, just for the sake of testing it, do a substance run through. Because I'm not as comfortable in substance, which I think makes it even more important to do. I'm not entirely sure yet. But that should now be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so that's one thing done. Next thing. Scarf is already done, right? Just need to scale it. 2 things done. Right, tie. Let's do you. I guess one nice thing is because I modeled it as one piece, I can literally just cut around the back of it. So let's just go mapping, and then literally just cut that. Unfold 3D process error. Okay, you were working a second ago. Let's try a different object for a second. Mapping. This isn't the final UVs, I just want to test out Unfold. Unfold 3D is suddenly broken. Why? It better not be that fucking driver bug. That shit will bother me to no end. For now, let's switch to Legacy. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that texture resolution. Why has it done that? Why has it made the tie so tiny? This is why I hate the Legacy tools. I need the... See if I can find those tools. There's a proper like unfold and relax tool, right? I don't think it's this one. Uh-oh. Unfold 3D process error. Wait, is this using the is this tool using Unfold 3D? Let's just try something for a second here. Let's straighten UVs. Beautiful. Let's straighten that. Oh, I just froze them. How did I freeze them? I had to learn the like the shortcuts for the Maya UVs. Where is freeze? Wait, move that. Okay. Cool. And then let's just go into the unfold tool, unfold along U. No, alright. So let's just try restarting Maya. Because it is being a bit glitchy. Yeah, that was quite slow. So when did that happen? Right, Maya. Oh, did that open with Maya 2018 or something? Because I never fixed. It's possible that just opened with Maya 2018. Something just dawned on me. Although it wouldn't make sense because I was unfolding using Unfold 3D earlier. So there shouldn't have been any issue there. Do you work now? What the fuck? Well, it's better. It's by no means good, so now's where I start moving into my old, like my favorite old trick, which is select every face and, well, first off, select every edge in the whole thing. Then do a cut. So let's just go, wrong window, cut. Then select all EVs and unitize them. And then select every edge on your model, except from the ones that you want to be cut. So let's do that. So deselect those. And then go move and sew edges. And we now have some giant, but pretty nice UVs. We just need to now lay these out. Ideally lay them out. Oh, it's not going to understand how to lay these out, is it? So let's set that to vertical. And what I can do is just unfold these in one axis at a time, because unfold 3D is going to give us the same results as earlier. So what we can do now is use Maya's. Apparently we can't. Why? Alright, so let's just do that then. Unfold is not having a nice time with these. I guess we'll just keep it like that. It's just like some sausage UVs for these. I can't deal with that though. Would it fare better? Oh, there's nice stuff, people dropping in. Hey Charlie, how you doing? Yeah, it's quite an old trick. It's like it's a way to UV pipes. It's not new at all. It's actually one of those kind of legacy. Well, I wouldn't say legacy. It's not that old, but I'd say it's edging towards a legacy trick at this point. Like it's a lot of modern tools have like stuff built in to mimic that sort of UVing, and it only works on things that are pipe shaped. So obviously this is a very flat pipe, but ultimately it's a tube. Like that's all it is. It's just a tube that travels because it's one consistent line of topology. That's the only reason that works. So let me just try cutting that. Try unfolding just the bottom. Okay, so it's doing a better job now. So let's try unfold 3D now. And just in case, try straighten shell. Yeah, that doesn't work. it doesn't like that at all. So I guess we could try the brush maybe. Let's save that. How's Becca thinking about Blender these days? Did she transition well? I think she's getting on better with it. It's still a weird software. But yeah. I think she'll be dropping into the stream at some point. She's doing some shopping stuff at the moment. Obviously she's in Belfast at the moment, so she'll be back on Saturday. Where is the smooth tool? Oh wait, ooh, there it is. Okay, let's relax. No, okay. So it's the smooth tool is the old unfold tool. Nice to know. Optimize, maybe it's optimized that I need. It was doing so well. Why isn't there a softness for this? And why is that what it wants to do? Right, try now, straighten shell. That did a better job. Okay, we're making progress. Let's unfold in one axis and unfold in the other axis. Still not doing a great job though. I think it's not doing a great job. Could just be that my model is that fucked up. It's actually doing a fantastic job. Oh fuck, it is. Okay, so my model's just really inconsistent. Oh, actually no, it is a bit wavy. I just prefer having these sorts of edges. I just don't like how it's trying to do everything. So I guess let's select this region, try to unfold just that region. Nah, ain't gonna work. What's the best way? I didn't expect for this to be what Maya struggles with. Or more accurately, me struggle with. It's not Maya that's struggling right now. Tools. So let's try the unfold tool just in this area. Nope, it's not doing what I want. Can I... What's the tool settings for this guy? Optimize. Let's try lowering the strength considerably. I don't like that. Okay, so we're just gonna have to undo. And then I find that so dumb. Why is that the response it gives? This is promising. Oh, now it's starting to get confused. Okay. So I guess we're just going to have to deal with this. Let me just try to make it more satisfying on my own. Kinda hate it, but it's good enough. Let me just test. So I think I need to scale it. No, actually that's pretty quadrant. Ah, it gets fucked up here. Is that just because the mesh is thinner over there? How far would that have to be spread? So that's the actual length of the thing. You could select some edges, pin them, and pray, then unfold. That looks like I could do. Yeah, that's a good idea. Give that a go. Cheers, man. Right, what would be the best ones to... I guess the best ones to do would be to lock the... Well, not lock the border. Oh, wait, why don't I just lock these? Because we've already got straight edges. If it unfolds around those... where was it? Tools, pin. Oh. Why can't you just pin selected UVs? So let's go. Is it edit? Pin selection. Now unfold. I hate that so much. God fucking damn it. Oh, fucking end me. Alright. I will ignore it. That's the best way to deal with your problems, right? What I will do though is use the smudge tool just to at very least straighten it up slightly in a way that's not as disastrous. Why is the smudge tool not working? Come on, tools. Smudge. Tweak. Oh, that works just fine. Does it need to be... That's so weird. I guess grab. Grab is what I wanted. I just need it to be at least a little bit straighter than it currently is. That'll do. There comes a point where you just have to kind of accept the defeat that comes with UVing. I am tempted to kind of lengthen it though. It's like to get something that's a little bit more even. Something like that is a bit better. The thing that's more important to me, like I know I could go for minimum distortion, but sometimes going for minimum distortion isn't as good as going for just like how straight you need the UVs to be. With this being a cloth, it's more important for it to be a grid pattern, so that when I put a cloth tileable map on it, it doesn't kind of warp around too much. It will still warp, but it won't do it as much as if it was a wibbly kind of UV. So this is going to be what I go with, as much as I would like to kind of unfold the end and have it kind of, you know, come to a nice point like the actual model. I mean, this isn't exactly a nice point, but it does well enough. It's the weirdest stuff that Maya struggles with though. Let's go with the shirt next, which is modelled nice and carefully with beautiful arms. Let's go to mapping, plain art. And then I guess the first thing we need to do is cut the inside from the outside. Oh, I don't have a supporting loop. Sometimes it's when you're UVing that you find like the worst errors. So let's cut that. And that might already be able to unfold, potentially. I doubt it because of the arms. No, I'm chill with that. That's fine. I'll just deal with it. And we do have the inside and outside, which really we could probably overlap. It's bad practice to overlap, but we could. So I'm not going to want to texture the inside differently from the outside. Maybe go into the Autodesk Discord and ask a few devs to share screen. It's I wouldn't bother the Autodesk guys with something like this because it's just one of those where like it's not important enough. The Autodesk devs have like actual studio clients to look after, and I'm just like some dude who pays for an indie license. I'm not even a big paying customer, so I wouldn't make them worry about it. Something I need to do actually. I need to remember where we do this image. Where's the settings for this? Is there a way to change the size of the UVs? As in like the actual tile itself? Wait, did I just do it? Because that seems smaller than it was a second ago. No? Weird. Alright, cool. I'm chill with that. Yeah, these UVs are good enough for the purpose that I have. Just do that. Cool. This one's going to be actually quite easy because I've already got the seams literally modelled in. So it's no effort at all to do this. I'm getting some really severe banding on my monitor right now. Something's up with Maya at the moment. It's acting super strange. Also, why is raw pitch black? Something is up with my Maya at the moment. Something behind the scenes has gone horribly, horribly wrong. At least I think so anyway. I'm probably wrong. Lisa Gonzalez says she lurks a lot. Lisa, if you're watching the stream at the moment, welcome. Hope you're doing well. So let's go to mapping, plane art, and then I'm gonna cut the. So now's when I need to decide: do I actually want to UV the inside and the outside separately? Part of me does. Part of me wants to do like different fabrics on the inside. I can do it super really easily with a mask. Also, have no idea why I've supported one side twice. Come on. There we go. Right, I guess it's easier to select them in smooth mode because everything moves out of the way. Ah, that's why. Ooh. Yeah, that's awkward. Alright, so let's cut that side. I need to do the same on this side, aren't I? The amount of lean I have right now in terms of like leaning completely into my monitor. Why that happened. Either way, select you, select you, get you. I think that's all the edges I need. So let's just go cut. The inside of the coat won't be cut properly, but that's fine for now. Are you streaming somewhere else besides YouTube? No, although I am thinking about starting to stream in Twitch. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Oh, that's all fucked up, isn't it? Okay, so this is going to be super tricky to trace. It might even be easier to trace in here. Yeah, it is. Is that a Angon? Or is it just... No, it's not an Angon. Alright, cool. So we've got that. We've got you. Everywhere else is cut correctly, right? Yeah, so it's just that. Alright, cool. Cut. I guess, Lisa, you'd be really great to ask for this sort of stuff. So, is it good practice to kind of UV this stuff like with its thickness? Like, you can message me privately if you don't want to say this sort of stuff on a stream. But is it better practice to actually do this stuff? Do this stuff like with a thickness, or is that not good practice? Because it is obviously a ton extra work, like an absolute ton more work. And laying this out is going to be extra awkward. Because I guess technically the best way for me to do it, in terms of just ease of use, is to overlay the UVs. That's one of the things about having left a film studio, is that I can't now see how film does it anymore. So if I wanted to check this sort of stuff, I could just like open up an asset and have a look around, but like I can't do that anymore, and that makes me sad. Also, there's probably a tool out there, right, for doing this sort of overlay UVs. Let's just do that. Working well enough for me. It looks like a sewing pattern, somewhat. If it looks like a sewing pattern, that's good enough for me. Although I will straighten these up So let's go with the loop that's closest to the 5-point star. So it's like the one after, on both sides. And just straighten shells. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to do that because that gave a really weird result. I guess I could do it on these ones. So it's further away from that kind of arm, because I guess the arm will be what confused that. That's not doing a good job. Alright, I'm just going to rotate them. The reason I want them to be somewhat straight is because obviously the cloth direction, like the direction of the warp and the weft, is defined by this. And I think a sewn pattern wouldn't have this shape. It would be straight on one side. I'm probably wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be this shape. But who knows? That over, move that over. Cool. Oh shit, pockets. Alright, so we're gonna have to make a little bit more space. That's fine by me. Because if I'm gonna be doing like a huge amount of UDIMs, I at least want to kind of group things by kind of what they are. It's like keep all the coat stuff together and keep all the other stuff together. So let's do something like that. Oh, I guess I kind of prefer that actually. We can put the pockets in here. So let's add the straps. I'll do this strap first. Mapping, planar map. And I can just cut you in half, you are simple enough. Please be kind. That was okay. Layout. Let's go with horizontal for these guys. And then let's straighten those UVs. And then let's lay out again. There we go. And these I will match the textile density. So let's just, for now, grab you, transfer that, mesh, transfer attributes. That's you done. Next thing to UV, I guess that's the easiest one. Why are the UVs like that? What did I do to make the UVs look like that? Like, how did I model these in that sequence? Mapping, planar map. Let's go with the inside edge. Cut. Unfold. Layout. Straighten. And layout again. Scale. Move up. Cool. You're next. Mapping. This is the type of UVing that I really like, because it's just such simple shapes. Like, these take no time to UV at all. And it's quite satisfying, because it takes little time. Should I cut off this outside piece? I guess not. I'm not entirely sure how that would be made. It'd be interesting to find out. Just turn this one around to make sure it matches the other one. I guess we can straighten these. Doesn't make much of a difference in this case. Stuff like that is fine. And then get you to you, mesh, transfer attributes. Apparently not. Mesh, transfer attributes. E. It imported pants from Minecraft here. There we go. So we're gonna need to move all this off to the side. Same with these straps and this strap too. Cool. And then let's just grab the coat and get its textile density. UV toolkit, transform, get. So we're going down to 41 for this. set. And that's the actual size of them. And then we just need to kind of space these out on their own. Are you going to match textile density pockets to the coat? Yeah, we'll be doing. I guess there's a bit of a delay in the stream, but yeah. It's what I'm currently trying to do anyway. So the outside is on the bottom. Remember that. And did I do this one? Outside is on the bottom. I guess we'll stick with that actually. So which side is on? Outside is on the bottom. All right, cool. So I guess I kind of accidentally did that. Oh no, that is correct. All right, cool. So outside is on the bottom for every single one. Grab all of these. Move you there, you there, you and you there. I'll put these side by side probably, but for now. Do that. Yeah, so let's put these side by side, make it a bit more visually appealing. Left side is on left. Yeah, cool, that's fine. Then I guess we could do these as well. Let's see if they fit. Yeah, they fit just fine. Move that over, make this a little bit more symmetrical of itself. There we go. And then back. Kind of want to put all this up there. I think it would be a nicer fit. In there feels a little bit forced. I do have a lot of dead space in this. They ain't gonna fit. There has to be a better way to do this. Also, I'm kind of concerned with how different... Oh, it's because outside and inside are cool. I thought that was left and right for a second then. Oh, that needs to be switched. Make sure it's actually on the right side. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want these to be on the outside or dead in the middle. I guess just the buttons next, right? Which, as we know from the buttons that I duplicated from these, is easy enough. I'm just gonna Alt-Save. Then mapping, planar. Cut. Done. Grab you to you. Mesh. Transfer attributes. You to you. You to you. That's so dark. Not you to you. You to you. You to you. And you to you. Done. So now oh, it's working this time, what the fuck? Does it copy the offset? Oh, it's still transferring attributes, isn't it? But it's transferring attributes and then applying this edit. That's spooky. Because that does not work how I expected it to at all. Like, what the... Oh, this is messing with me. Put you there. Alright, should probably delete the history on those, right? How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 8. Why did I try to read those and they got numbers in them? So it's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, cool, that's all of them. I think we should go 4 for 4. So I'll just do that. Something like that is a bit better. A bit nicer. And these can go in that middle bit. I'm not going to bother with textile density on these, just because I'm not going to be sharing the same material. I just like to have one asset filler UDIM on its own. Although it does feel super fucking strange to have the metal in the middle, so I guess we will put these in there. These are textile density matched, just so we can share a cloth texture. These can then sit there, that feels a little bit more natural. Cool, and let's grab you. What is this group? This group is his underbody. Yeah, lower body. He does have hips, right? Yeah, they're there. So why isn't it in that group? Oh, it's got a spine too, I forgot about that. I'm not going to be using any of that, but... I'm actually using the skeleton for most of the model. I'm only really using it for legs. I'll probably delete everything bar the legs, to be honest. We will see. So, hands. Oh, hands are going to be a bitch. Ooh. Alright, okay. So coat's done. Scarf is naturally done, although I do need to move it into the actual UDIM. Tie is done. I'll probably put the tie and the scarf together. Shirt is done. Head needs... Oh no, head's done. Wait, when did I do the head? Yeah, those are done too. What the fuck? When did I do that? Alright, hat then. So that obviously isn't how I'm going to do this. How should I do this though? I don't know how these are sewn. Like in the slightest. Isn't it something like that? And then obviously deselect the ones on the bottom. I think it's something like that. And then it's like sewn together at the top. Cut. And then obviously you need to cut this guy out. And then I guess we should cut you. That is the wrong edge. That. Oh wait, actually that's going to be plastic, right? Or like something that's a bit more sealed. Oh, which actually reminds me, this is supposed to be a different material, I think. Or is it? Oh, we should definitely hide that though. I am babbling beyond belief right now. Move and sew edges. Move and sew. Cut. Cut. And then I guess we should do side to side. That should be cut as well. So we're going to have a couple circles in here, but that's fine. I just want to get something laid out. Yeah, it feels like it could work. We'd have to model something in there to make this not feel too strange. Or we could just sew this top section. I am really not sure on this top section. Let's try moving so. Maybe that's more accurate. I might go with that, because I'm not sure if it's more accurate. I can look into it later. It's not exactly the hardest thing to UV. Now we just need to decide how we're cutting this side section. Are we going to do, or at least this kind of like top two things here? Are we going to go with something more like this? I think this could work. This just feels like, I know it's the right textile density, but this feels too big. Get set. Yeah, that is correct size. So then, are we supposed to, I need to turn this off because that's really visually distracting. Let's try straightening the shell. Okay, so then let's try unfolding that on V. What I'm looking for right now. Modify. Let's see if I can remember what it is. I can't. Pin selection. So it's in edit. Okay. This one should work. Hey, there we go. So let's just grab all those middle ones. Where was the other? Was that all of them? Oh, so I guess this was the other one, yeah. Edit, pin UVs, and then just unfold. There we go, something a bit more correct. So, now if we go edit, unpin, all, now lay them out. So, layout. Don't like what that does. Just do it by hand. Kind of want to thin these out. Well, not thin them out, do the opposite, chunk them up a little bit. Like, reduce the width so that they're proportionally taller than they should be. Guess this should be facing down, right? So that the front is consistent. And what would that make you? So that side's the front, so let's do that with you as well. And you're just a little thing. And behold, the most inefficient UVs you've ever seen in your life. So I can probably scale all this a little bit, right? So let's budge those back in. With you being inside, I'll scale you. You're a worthy sacrifice. We're not going to see inside the hat anyway. And then I guess if I scale this up, it's going to make the cloth smaller if we do put cloth in there. So I'm going to leave that as it is and just waste a bit of space. I think that's preferable to scaling it up. Just because with it being cloth, I need to be really careful about textile density. Like, it actually really matters in this case. So I just didn't realize we got the head. Why didn't we do that? I mean, it's not exactly the hardest thing to UV. I think I do remember doing it now, actually. I don't know why this bothers me so much, this angle change, but It does. I have to deal with it. Right, okay, so we got the tie, shirt, scarf, which is overlapping, but that's fine. Got you, got you. Need these. But the shoes I haven't decided how I'm going to do them yet, so I've still got to do the hands and the shoes and the legs. Oh. And then I've UV'd pretty much the whole scene. That's the thing, like, people complain a lot about UVing, but I think it is actually really quite chill. Like, I don't think it's not an overly difficult thing to do. Like, it's got like some skill to it, but I think once you get the general basics down, UVing is really relaxing. I do remember hating it, so you know I know why people hate it, but I just, now that I've kind of spent more time doing it, I'm like, why did I hate it? So that shouldn't be showing that much. So do these. UV the bottom. Cut. That'll do. So this is going to be an interesting piece to UV, because I need to figure out how this is actually physically built, because it's a piece of wood. But do I want it? Why is that UV'd like that? I guess I didn't really have an option. Alright, cool. But yeah, I need to figure out, like, how do I want this to be built? Like, do I want this to actually be a separate piece of wood that's milled in which case I can kind of like cut that off. Either way, we need to map it regardless. And then I think I will just go with cutting that to begin with. Cut you as well. Cut you. Cut you. And then I'm going to need to cut between these two. I'm going to need to separate top and bottom. So just cut there. And then I could keep this actually as it currently is. Let's try unfolding that. No, I cannot do that. Wait, well, why is that? Oh, yeah, of course. That is stupid. Cut. Unfold. I think that works well enough. So, you're obviously incredibly easy to unfold. You as well. And how will the thumb unfold? Oh yeah, it won't, of course. That was a lot quicker than I expected it to be. Works well enough. There's nothing like major wrong with it, it's just not the neatest layout is the issue. So since we're going to be pointing the fingers with this, I kind of need to scale everything down. So I think that's the correct layout. Oh wait, it's impossible to lay out, I think. So that's technically where it's cut. I think should I do that? That's kind of weird. I need to scale it all down anyway, but it feels like a really weird way to do it. think I will do that. Just because visually I find that quite satisfying to look at. Although it does mean that any procedural textures I use will try to actually connect across those, so that actually I don't want that. I want them to be disconnected. So the question is now, do I respect the grain direction and have it so that the wood would still travel in the same direction, it's just got a seam? Or do I rotate it so that any wood grain that's going this way would switch to going that way? I think I'll switch it, because that visually might look a bit more interesting, which means I can put these in here to save on that space. And if I put the fingers kind of in this space here, that should be fine. Let's just do that. Cool. So luckily these are all the same exact fucking mesh, so I can just kind of figure out a general, well, not even figure out, I can just UV one of them and share it around. So I guess let's do that then. Mapping. Cut you. Cut you. Cut. Cut you. That's good enough. So wherever I can, I'm going to share those UVs. So let's go mesh. And then I'll need to unfold them each time. Are they not the same topology? Yeah, not the same topology. Alright, cool, so ignore that. U to U. Cool. U to U. Cool. U to U. No. Alright, so it's the end pieces that aren't working. Cool. And then it's UV one of these, which again is pretty much identical UVs to what I just did. It's a case of whether or not I want to cut it off at the end. I think I do. So let's just go mapping, planar. Doesn't matter which one I choose. It's all the same anyway. Cut with U, cut along U to there. Cut. Cool. Save my scene. Then let's grab U to U. Mesh transfer. Transfer attributes. Yep, that's working now. Alright, cool. Oh. No, it isn't. Did I model the thumb as its own thing? Why? I'm surprised it's consistent then. It's just upside down and stretched weirdly. Did I flip that at some point? Because that's the same topology now, right? I did. When the fuck did that happen? Alright, cool, so I'll just UV this on its own as well. And then that should be transferable, so let's just do that. Mapping, planar. Cool. Cut U. U. Why is that transferred? That's genuinely kind of confused me. Like, I don't know how I changed the point order to literally just shift everything slightly. I might rewatch the that stream at some point. Straighten UVs. Cool. And let's go mesh. Well, let's actually do this one properly first. I don't know why that's so big as well. There we go. It's a bit better. Mesh, transfer attributes. Mesh, transfer attributes. Mesh, transfer attributes. Cool. So we got all of those now. I guess it would be nice to actually straighten these UVs, right? Layout UVs. Not keen on that. So let's just go with you, move you to the top, then grab you as well, move you up. Although we do need to unfold some of these, right? Oh, it's still transferring attributes. Okay, so that's not actually going to unfold. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess. Let's get textile density of this guy. Get set. Set. So now actually scale correctly as it goes up. So I might transfer the UVs across this now. Let's just do that. Right, so we got all this. Let's transfer. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that transfer again. My wrist is really playing up right now. Sorry. So I guess these don't need to be transferred yet. Oh, it'd be kind of helpful. Alright, so let's just do that. Mesh, transfer attributes. Then U to U, U to U, delete history in both of those. Then U to U, 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 U to U. Delete history in all those. And what I can do is just grab these, move them over by one. Move these over by another one. Move these over by another one. Move those over by another one. And get these guys. Let's go to vertices. No, not to vertices. To UVs. Set. And then that should go down one. Set. And then we have all the fingers set out so that we can just select. Well, let's move all this out of the way. Wait. Wait. Move that over there. Select you. Cool. That isn't good. Get set. Okay, that fucks that up. So that's better. I'm still gonna have some difficulty getting that in there. I could scale it like that. And then get you. Because we need to put the arm in there as well, I guess. Get. No. Get. Set. Oh, I don't like that. But if they're going to be the same wood, I need these to actually be pretty close to matching. So this is just one of those where I kind of have to. What I'll do is I'll UV everything together, and then once I've got everything the same size, I can kind of scale it uniformly. Grab you. Obviously need to set these guys. Do something like that. That's super weird though. Let's do this instead. Don't know why I selected both of those. So doesn't really work. What's the most efficient way for me to lay these out? Because with them being potentially made out of wood, the tactile density actually does need to be consistent here. I don't trust the layout tool to do something nice, but let's try it anyway. Yeah, it's kind of horrific. I want things to be kept together, but at the same time, I guess technically this is good. I just want things to be kept in groups. These are the issue. Maybe if I do that, let's just try cramming all this together. Then you guys can make a little bit more room. Is the arm really the same tactile density right now? Like, is it the same length as the hand? It is. Okay, so we're getting to a point of this being difficult to expand much more. So I guess what we can start doing now is just slightly bumping the size of some. Oh wait, that's not fitting. Can we just move everything down slightly? And move you up. Don't like this space and this space. I mean, that's better than... Oh wait, I need to get the other hand. Oh, fuck that. Alright. So I need to make this all actually fit a rectangle. That's half of this, because I need the other hand to fit. So this needs to be about half the size it currently is. So I can fit everything across. Which actually kind of in some ways makes it a bit better. Because if this is now my limit, I can pack this a little bit more efficiently. Actually, yeah, that's much better. Still some wasted space, but it's better than it was, because when I duplicate this over, it'll be mirrored. Which I'm going to do now, actually. Let's just grab that. Then, oh wait, that was already in a group. Cool, so let's just delete you. I need to name this. I'll name this now. So let's call this our hand group. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to name all these. From group. swear working in the CG industry is a lot more fun than this. If you're looking at this as a student, please do not think this is what the industry is like. Oh god. Then would it be better to merge the fingers individually? Not sure. If there's any riggers watching, do let me know, like what you'd prefer as a rigger. So I guess having all these geometries would be a bit infuriating, but at the same time, like, if it's going to be rigged as a solid object, like it's not going to be weight painting on this, or if there is, it's literally flood fills. Would you as a rigger prefer it to be combined meshes or not? So I did keep that consistent. Cool. So that's the hand, our hand. Just duplicate that group. Set this to L hand. Go into attribute editor, set you to -1. Modify freeze transformations, save scene. And then I need to scale these by -1. Will it let me do that? Transform, scale, -1 in the U. No. Cool. A little bit too close together, but that's fine by me. Just move all this over. And there we go. Oddly pleasing UVs. The layout makes no sense though. This should be at the bottom. So I'm going to fix that. If it will let me. Just solo that. Why is it not letting me do this? F8. Actually, I kind of prefer how it was. Well, visually I prefer how it was, but actually layout I prefer this, so let's just have that gap there, I guess. I guess if we decide to add any extra modeling to the hands, then it can just go in the middle there. Feels like this is like some kind of alien design. Like this could be the ears, some nostrils, some kind of antenna or horn thing, eye, cheeks, or giant like double slit mouth type thing. It's kind of interesting to look at. It's like a gremlin. Alright, so getting closer. Head is obviously going to be the first UDEM. We need to get some more stuff in there though. Hat can be second UDEM. We are going to have to at some point make them somewhat consistent. Just quickly check something on this. Yeah, let's scale it down slightly. Oh yeah, some step. Where is it? There it is. Off. Cool. Do we put a shirt and a coat together? Because I guess one is like upper body clothing, lower body clothing. This would have to be scaled way down, I think. Oh wait, we got the coat pockets and stuff, so I guess I can't. So the shirt has to be doing its own thing. Hat can be second Udem. It's already at Udem 4. If I want to do Mari, then I need to stay within 6 Udems, which does not play nicely. I guess these can go with a shirt, although they're going to have to obviously have very different scales. Like they can't share any shaders, but to be fair, I don't think they would anyway. Let's grab these two. So we've got shirt, tie, scarf, coat and all its pockets, head. Let's just quickly grab all that stuff. Hat. So then we would need lower legs to fit together in Udem 6 or Udem 5 even. And shoes would need to go on Udem 6. Actually, that all fits. Oh wait, no, hands. Fuck. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be, unless I put shoes and lower legs and pants together. Let's just quickly grab the hands and move them to the second Udem. Let's just go step snap. Yes. Oh no, that's scale. Don't want that. Rotate. There it is. So hat. I mean, obviously if I'm doing Mari, I could export each asset on its own. Which would mean a better Udem setup would be to do the kind of standard for film, which is everything of the same type of material, i.e. wood, cloth, metal, would be separated vertically. So in this case it's all wood and cloth, so I'd have these two in that first Udem, then I'd have the hands in the second Udem, then I could have the skeleton stuff in the third Udem, and then all the clothing would go in the Udems above. So let's just grab all these, put these in Udem above, and move them over. Obviously we've got some Udems overlapping, but you get the general idea. It's like, you know, it's wood, cloth. I guess we'll go with that, because then non-commercial Mari lets you do 6 Udems per object and 5 objects, so potentially we've got up to 30 Udems, so I guess we don't have to worry about it too much. I do want to be efficient though. The scarf doesn't feel overly efficient, but I do want it to be a continuous piece of cloth, so I don't really have an option on that one. The difference in textile size is going to bother me though, so I do need to kind of normalize that at some point. How much can I scale you without you freaking out? Because that's literally all the space I've got. Oh, I need to turn off. Just realised how bad my posture is. Let's stand up straight. Yeah, that's as far as I can get, which is actually close enough to the coat. Trousers then need to be made smaller, which is good for me because I need them to fit. Let's just get a textile for this. and apply it to these. Oh, that's a bigger difference than I expected. I'm not sure I want that. I'm gonna just bodge it a bit. Scale it down that much. So it's not a one-to-one. I guess hands and skeleton can go in a group called wood group. Everything else would go in cloth group. Right, there's a kid skeleton. Oh, that's empty groups, right? Yeah, okay, can delete that. Oh, what are you? Okay, let's grab those, drop them into skeleton, and delete kid skeleton. And all of these can now be grouped under clothing group. And then I just need to go through and make the naming more consistent, because currently Char Kid coat is the only thing that has Char Kid in it, other than the overall group itself, but that's irrelevant. I didn't realize I actually named these. What I might do for the shoes is come back to them like at a way later point, like once we decide what we want. I'm also going to hide the environment group. Substance, you'd have to put everything in one UDIM. They still didn't. No, you can. Yeah, you can use UDIM. But I'm still unsure if I want to use. Oh, I just realized how much I've missed. Yeah, learning something cool. You've been talking to Lisa, but I don't see the messages here. I haven't been talking to Lisa. I mentioned some stuff earlier, like I'd love to get her input, but I haven't actually been able to talk to her. I don't know if she's still watching or not. But yeah, it's in terms of substance, you can now do UDIM, but in terms of film, there's a really incredible guy who makes great tutorials in texturing called Paulino. He does great texturing stuff. I think he's a texture artist at Weta now, but he started making tutorials when he was still a student at Think Tank. And he talks about like the industry method of texturing, and that's kind of where I learned the whole, you separate it by material, which is really fucking helpful. I'm still thinking of using Mori to some extent. I'm debating ditching it for this project and doing a substance-based workflow, just because I kind of want to test it. But at the same time, Mari still edges things out for me. Like I still prefer Mari in general, just because I like the painting tools and I like having the node graph. The node graph is such a huge thing for me. Like my workflow relies on that node graph. But yeah, it'd be really cool. But yeah, if there's any questions you had about texturing, because you do seem quite interested in the texturing workflow. So I guess we're going to do a skeleton group, aren't we? We should probably add a few more subdivs. Not subdivs, but just add these in and edit edge flow. That's not what I wanted. Cool, and then you, I guess I'll do manually. Actually, they're kind of okay where they are. Let's just grab these ones and edit edge flow them. Granted, this, I don't think the spine's going to get used actually, because we've got the proxy geo, so I'm going to delete the spine. The hips are still going to get somewhat used. Let's grab both of these and scale them though. So let's just put the pivot down to this level. Scale them up. So what's the advantage left you would still give it to Mari? It's entirely it's not that you can leave objects separate, because frankly I don't really care about that. You can still hide in Substance. I'm pretty sure you can still hide objects in chunks, and you can import them separately, like as separate objects. It's just a little bit more of a pain. The thing that edges it out for me is the node graph. Literally only the node graph right now. I think the thing is with Substance is you can use it similarly to Mari unless you're doing a lot of projection painting. The projection tools just aren't as good as Mari's, because that's not what it's built for. Substance is built to be like a 3D painting, like all the time. You got your particle brushes, you got the Substance materials, and definitely the masking is like infinitely better in Substance because it has all the smart mask stuff. But the node graph is just so important, like, because it allows you to share maps really easily without having to worry about it. If Substance added the node graph, I think Mari would be done for me, honestly, because you can paint like Mari in Substance again, as long as you're not doing projections too often. Perhaps I should learn Mari instead of Substance. It depends where you want to go. Substance is getting picked up more and more, but Mari is still the industry standard. So you can't just models don't learn Substance. It's very interesting to learn Substance. That's why I like to see Substance, but Mari still has the edge then. Yeah, Mari for me still has the edge. It doesn't mean that Mari is better. I'd say Mari isn't better, to be honest. But let's turn on the two-sided light. Backface culling even. Oh, it's because they've got a golden tail on them. Alright, cool. Yeah, let's start UVing this. Yeah, Mari's not better. It's just what I prefer. I think the reason I prefer it is because I spent the time to learn it to begin with. Mari is a bit of a nightmare to learn. Like, if I had to choose which one to teach someone, I'd probably go with Substance just because I'm going to have an easier time teaching them. Let's turn that off. Which is a really lazy way to teach someone, like teach them the easy software. But I think if you want to go into film, then both get used, but they both get used in different ways. So I find generally like what I hear echoed, because I'm not a texture artist. Like, I can texture to a basic level, but I'm definitely not a texture artist. But what I hear them echo all the time is that Substance is great for quickly generating maps, and Mari is generally better for doing massive texturing. Probably the node network being the reason for most people. Mari is the main thing that gets used in industry for sure. Like, it's the standard, and there's no real debating that, I think. Which I've got friends who work at the Foundry, and it's like, whenever I chat to them, like, it sounds like the customer support with Foundry is also incredible. Granted, I'm not a customer. I use the free versions of their tool, so I'm really not in that customer base. But yeah, by the sounds of things, they do have great support. I just really hope that Mari works on its baking, because I think if Mari doesn't work on its baking, it's going to get left behind in so many different ways. And I really like Mari. I want to keep using it, but unless it improves its baking, then I think it's kind of screwed. At least for the way I like to work. Again, different artists have different preferences. Just my preferences lie with Mari currently. Although that can change, and probably will change at some point. Cool, that's symmetrical. Let's quickly get these lined up. That said, there's currently 7 people watching. I'm sure at least one of them is probably a more competent texture artist than me. So, like, feel free to chime in, because I really don't want to sound like I'm an authority on this, because I'm really not. I'm not a texture artist. I just happen to texture. Like, it's not the same thing. I'd say my texturing isn't bad, but like, if you was to put me next to a pro, no competition. So we need to get the feet now, don't we? I kind of want to just cut this in half. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's grab both of these. Mapping, planar. Cut you like that. As if it's just two halves pushed together. I learn all this 3D stuff as a personal tool to visualize ideas and concepts. I see it as a valuable tool and skill to have. Going down the road into industry would be nice in film or VFX or product renders. Product renders is a really cool industry. One of the artists that I used to look up to quite a lot, he's kind of gone silent in the art world for a few years now, but it's Grant Warwick. Like his work is probably what pushed me towards loving look dev, because he does some incredible shit. And he's a product render guy. Like, he's an absolute guru. He's the guy who made the Mastering V-Ray course. And yeah, he's fantastic. Like, let's cut you off, cut you off, cut from you to you. Do the same on this side because it's easy enough. Cut. Cool. Get set. So let's group them all together now. Cool, they're all together. Put them on the correct side. Which I think I'm looking from the front when I'm doing these. J, do that. I'm not going to worry too much about textile density in this. I'm not going to worry as much about textile density in this, just because most of it's hidden anyway. Grab you. Oh yeah, they were already laid out to not touch. And then let's get the hip. How did I create that and select something at the same time? So we just got to grab the, oh, where's that? What? Oh yeah, of course. I never did those to begin with. All right. Let's ignore those for a second. Set. Oh, it's a close fit. Again, we'll never see the hips, but it's still worth getting in there. And I guess we should get those steel balls, right? So, best way to lay these out. Because that's the ankles, so I guess if we move that over that way, and then move these that way. Well, I guess we can put them down there, right? Let's just move that up that way. So they can sit down there, think about what they've done. Then I need to just UV these guys. But they're easy enough, I'll just cut them in half the way I did the other one. Although I guess for these I should cut them in half the other way. So let's solo those for a moment. And then I'll have to name all the meshes as well. Let's cut them in half this way. Fuck. Cut. Cool. Scale. Move there. Skeleton. So these probably won't get any shading, to be honest. I guess they should be made out of wood as well, like everything else, right? So on existing, temp, wood. Is that what these have got as well? So on existing material, temp, wood. And then I need to name this stuff. So I need to separate all these as well. Mesh, separate. Separate. Cool. Let's grab all that. Delete history. What's a new? That's the feet. L foot. What? L foot. Geo. Oh, I've missed a bunch of messages. I should let Mary said, but I just hear the huge competition. What people are willing to downgrade and leave behind, be able to do this work. The way I see it is all this stuff is so valuable. It takes great effort to learn and master it to improve this stuff. But that value is rarely represented in terms of payment. So you currently, yeah, I mean the whole payment thing. It really varies on a lot of factors. I wouldn't say that the industry universally pays badly. I wouldn't say that. I know people that earn definitely like what they're worth. There's multiple factors. I think one of the biggest factors is that people are kind of afraid to push. There is also the whole thing of, there is ultimately a crunch within the industry. Like, clients' budget isn't going anywhere, but their expectations are definitely going up. But I think pay is one of those. I mean, it's a tricky topic to talk about, and obviously no one wants to talk about what they earn. I definitely wouldn't mention that sort of stuff on stream. It's just too much of a rabbit hole to go down, because even if I was being paid fairly, I might have friends who are not being paid fairly, or I might think I'm being paid fairly, but then find out someone else is getting paid way more. So it's a very tricky kind of slope to go down. But I'd say one of the biggest issues that I see is that people are too afraid of pushing for a pay rise. I do think that you could probably get one in more cases than people expect. I'm not saying that, oh, if you ask for a pay rise, you're going to get it, because that would be unbelievably cocky. But I hope you get the general idea I'm trying to say is that, like, there is an element of just being scared to ask, and therefore if you don't ask, you don't get. And yeah, I definitely know artists who are really fucked over in their salary, and it's completely unfair. And then I know other artists that earn, like, beyond my wildest dreams. So it's kind of like, there's a lot to it. It depends on what studio you go to. It depends on what you're good at. If you've got skills that are rare, then you naturally get paid more. Generally speaking, groom and rigging gets paid more in most studios, just because they're quite rare skills. Whereas I can't speak for every studio, but as far as I'm aware, animation tends to be one of the lower. Animation and modeling, I think, are some of the lower paid ones. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. But it depends on how common your skill is. If you're in an area that has loads of competition, then naturally the salary goes lower. If you're in an area with less competition, then the salary goes up because you're rare, and that comes with an increase in pay. But yeah, it's definitely a tricky subject though. I wouldn't want to go too deep into it. As I said, I'm definitely not going to say like kind of what I earn, because it will go one of two ways. Either I find out that I'm massively underpaid, or people will think I'm overpaid. There's no in between. But yeah, so let's go left thigh. Well, let's not go thigh. Let's go upper leg geo, and let's not put that E in there. And then let's put that R, and let's go left lower leg. Our lower leg. And what are these? These are kneecaps, right? So that's L kneecap geo, and then R kneecap geo. And the final thing is the feet, well, hips as well. Oh wait, what? Oh. Hip geo. And where did I put the feet? Oh, the feet are already done. Alright, cool. So let's group everything that is left. L, leg. Group. I named these wrong at some point. That is the left ankle. And then the right ankle needs to be pulled out. That sounds overly painful. Oh, I just realized I missed the last message. I enjoy learning the process and someday include it into my personal work, visualization of business concepts, ideas across the client. As possible is what isn't it for me. Yeah, it's clients are another topic entirely. Like you can get, I've been incredibly fortunate actually. I've had some really great clients that I've been genuinely happy to work with, and I'm not just saying that because this is a public stream. Like I've actually been quite fortunate with having just genuinely great clients. Like not everyone's so lucky. Obviously you do get clients that are a bit of a nightmare, but I think you can get good ones surprisingly often. And let's just call this, oh, we've got skeleton group is fine. But yeah, if you get the right clients, it's an absolute joy to work for them, because normally any kind of freelance is good money. Like freelance pays so much better than studio work, but that's because it should. Like freelance is unsecure income. So freelancers can earn absolutely mad money if they get like a following where they can kind of, you know, charge more and have like consistent clients coming in. It can make it a lot of money very quickly. Alright, so we've got skeleton. So that means you just need to put all these together. So let's grab skeleton, turn snap step on, grab all this, move it across to there. What are you? Don't like how it just zoom me into his crotch. Alright, okay. Did I not do these? Apparently I didn't unfold these. Let's just do a projection. Let's do y-axis. So why is it not displaying it? Oh, because, yeah, of course. Let's go with mapping. Find out why. That is really fortunate placing. If it will let me select them. I've got a feeling this is going to crash really soon because it's acting weird right now. But that's... we got our UVs now. Oh, no we don't. What is that? Oh, that's the shoes. Which will go in this group. Alright, so I'll do some proxy UVs for the shoes. It doesn't take long to do this sort of stuff. And they are super simple. So let's just grab the shoes. Solo those. Play our map. Okay, so let's start with you. I'm going to cut in... should we say in here? And then from there, cut up the back. And that in theory is already enough for that to work, so let's give that a go. Could cut the top off. Although technically that wouldn't make much sense, so let's do something like that. Mesh, transfer attributes. Cool. Then these are easy enough to UV. So this, that thing I showed before about kind of stitching the UVs, this is the perfect sort of geometry for it. So what you do is you cut every edge, you then select all the UVs and unitize them, and then you select every edge except from the one you want to sew. So let's go with that one. In fact, no, let's not go with that one. Let's go with one of the ones that's on the inside, like that one. And then you just move and sew. And there you have some very, very clean UVs, which need to be scaled down dramatically. Nope. Then it's just a case of like these polygons are stretched, so I need to stretch the actual UVs to get something more quadded. And there we go. It's like super nice method for UVs. I really like it. I guess these should be horizontal, right? So let's grab you. I don't know if these will match. Mesh, transfer attributes, they do match. I'm surprised. Cool. So we got both our shoes. So I guess the next thing is to lay these out. Do something like that. Pull you in here, pull you across, pull you up here, and then this is only proxies, so that's already pretty much good enough for me. Let's just get these there. I guess we could scale these up if we wanted to. That'll do. UVs. No. F8. UVs. Turn on snap step. And then it's going to move these down for now, so they're easy to select. And select the whole of the character. These are clothing, so put those up there. Let's turn off spacing, because I just realized that I'm actually putting them in here, so I can actually lay them out a bit differently. So let's go with, what size are these? These are going to be tiny, right? That's actually not as small as I expected. Alright, cool. So let's set all this stuff. Oh, forgot to turn off snap step. Just do something like that. It's easy enough. And we have a lot of space in this final UDIM, which I'm not too keen on. But if it works, it works. Oh, I still need to add thickness to the gene, so that would be what fills that up, because everything else has thickness. Yeah, so I just need to fill in, thicken out the genes. Which I guess now is a good time to do. Either way, we've got UVs. And they're not awful. Let's go into show, selection highlights. Texel density is all over the place. The scarf especially. But it's not awful. It works, it's functional. The fingers are a bit stretched, so maybe I should fix that. It's only these ones though. So let's select the hands. There's those 4. Selection highlighting. That's hands, so it is. F8. Select. No. Set F8. UVs. Select you, and you, and you. Ah, can I not scale them locally? Well, I guess it's okay. So I just need to remember these 4. So let's just select that one until it's square, something close to that. I know they're not perfectly square, but they're closer. There we go, back to the other side. I guess we don't need that one. Move you up, move you out. I will click the right thing eventually. Right, there we go. So, shoes are still in their very proxied state, so I'm not too worried about getting those right yet. Everything else is kind of in a position where I can start texturing, because I'm going to be doing a bit of a cloth sim pipeline, so I'm not too worried about modeling in big folds, because I think I'm just going to simulate that in. So I guess now is a good time to get all this stuff. So I'm going to duplicate this now and drop it into my simulation group, because I need a plain thick model. So let's just go pants sim proxy. Hide that. Use that later. So here's the real one. So let's just extrude it, see what happens. That thickness is okay for me. Let's just round it up. Mesh, reverse. What kind of fabrics do you want to have? I really want to do an over-the-top twill. I find twill like really satisfying to look at. Either that or oh shit, what's the name? Herringbone. Herringbone weave looks really cool, and I made a bunch of maps like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago that I can use. So I'm just gonna use those. Mesh, reverse, and display, reverse. Cut. I need that to move and sew. I think that will do. So now what I need to do is go into UV shell, and what we can do from here is go into unfold and turn off packing. Oh, it's already turned off. Oh, I hate that so much. Alright, let's just go unfold U, unfold V. Cool. Is that done? And then let's sort out the shoes again because they'll undoubtedly be wrong. So let's go shoe and pants. Solo. So F8. And then just move these over here for a second. Cool, so you can stay here. And you go up here. Much better. So I guess now that we've got the thickness modeled in, I can start doing the modeling that I want to do, which is to get all the seam lines. And do a bevel with 2 segments. Let's increase the fraction slightly. And then select that loop, select that loop, select that loop, slightly inflate all of it, or deflate I guess. There we go. That's a bit too sharp. Let's just delete those loops. That's still really sharp. There we go, that's better. So that's one over for thickness now. So now we have our whole seam. There we go. We need something to go here, and here, and here. Other than that, it's fairly efficient. What kind of fabrics? Oh, I missed the message before that. Yes, me as a 29-year-old, 15 days until I'm 30. It's just too late, I guess, for me to make it in the industry. It's not too late, man. I've met people who started university in their 40s. It's not too late, so don't worry about that, mate. If you want to do something, just do it. You're not going to get younger, so you might regret it when you're older. It's your call. Obviously, I'm not going to get all philosophical and shit, and ultimately I'm just a, well, not a kid anymore, I am an adult, but just about an adult. But I'd recommend, like, not letting age be the thing that holds you back. I mean, I'm barely younger than you, but, like, it wouldn't be impossible for you to make it into the industry, especially if you have good connections. Like, I'm not exactly a great connection, but I'd be more than happy to try to help mentor you into the industry. Like, I'm perfectly chill to do that. Just let me know if you want to do that. So there we go. We have all this stuff. Environment group. These can just be a top-down UV. I'm gonna do that at like the last possible moment. There we go. We have some pretty decent UVs. And this, I'd say, is a really good place to end the stream. I'm gonna just distance those two slightly, because it is like 10 minutes to when I normally end the stream, and it's quite a neat time to end it. So I'm gonna end the stream here. But yeah, if I'll be doing again on I'll be streaming again on Thursday. I should be back to normal times now. I've just been a bit busy recently. And then yeah, probably see you guys then, hopefully. I'm surprised how many people dropped by this one. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this. If not, then that's a shame, I guess. But in the next stream, I'll probably start... I can't decide if I want to do the shoes, because I'm really struggling on the shoes artistically. Like, I really don't know what I want to do for them. I may just do a bunch of sculpts, or might just go into that Marvelous Designer scene a little bit more. But for now, I'm going to leave the shoes alone. Especially since they'll be hidden mostly behind grass anyway. I can afford to do it quite late if I want to. And they're in their own UV, like I can do whatever I want with them. So I'll decide on that stuff later. So the next task is either to start modeling the monster to get everything in place, so I can start grooming, or I can start look div on the kid, or I can make the grass for the ground. Because I'm at that stage now where I can go in whatever direction, and it wouldn't really make a mad difference. I just realized a better way to light this out. This is the thumb, right? Oh, this is the arm. No, that's the arm. Okay, never mind. I'm just not keen on the openness of this middle bit. So let's try. Just quickly pull these together. Come on. That's not as bad. Is that a... Oh, hello. I need to do a security check on my model, don't I? Yeah, where do you come from? Oh, you're gonna be a bitch, aren't you? I'm going to need to do a Engon search on my model, because I've found quite a few like that now. There it is. Let's just quickly do that before the end of the stream. So I can exit this now, my classic. Mesh, cleanup, select matching polygons, four-sided faces, invert. Nothing there, cool. And then invert selection. Nothing there. The fingers will be fine, I hope. Mesh, cleanup. Yep, nothing. Well, that's the places I expected to find it. Maybe the shirt would be another good one to check. Mesh, cleanup. Oh, there's something in there. where though? Okay, apparently not. Just acting differently now. But yeah, one thing I look forward to is doing like some really deep dive cloth shading, because I've not done it in a while. I also want to do some cloth grooming, which does, to be honest, make me want to ditch XGen for this project, but I just cannot be bothered installing Yeti. It's way too much of a pain. But yeah, I do want to kind of dive into some of that stuff and do something quite nice. But yeah, anyway, right, I'm going to end the stream because I've kind of not run out of stuff to do. I've just got far enough for me to be happy to kind of leave it where it is. So I hope you guys have kind of learned something. If not, then that's also chill, I guess. But hopefully I'll see you guys in the next stream, which should be on Thursday. And I know I said the last one will be on Tuesday, and it was the last one will be on Thursday. It ended up being a whole week, but either way, I should be on Thursday. So hopefully see you guys then. Bye guys.